This is an emergency broadcast. We have detected an imminent asteroid collision with the moon's surface. We are currently assessing the extent of the damage and the number of casualties. At this moment, our teams are working tirelessly to restore communication with lunar outposts. For those still on the moon, be aware that we are mobilizing all available resources to assist you. Conserve your energy and ration your supplies until further notice. Additional information will be provided as the situation unfolds. Stay tuned for updates. Over and out.
I repeat, Crust has declared a state of emergency of the first degree. Commercial shipments and cargo landings are prohibited. All complexes, resources, and facilities on the moon are now under Crust control. All remaining facilities should switch to emergency frequency and report their status.
What's happening? Director, can you hear me? We're receiving reports that a meteorite collided with the moon and the state of emergency has been declared. You could have done it more quickly and spared me the worry. Director, there's still no signal from the personnel of the base. I'll try again, but my hope... Robert, come in. There appear to be no survivors. I'm glad you were on the orbital station when the collision happened. We should try to hold out until logistics with Earth are restored. Start with
Judging by the seismic activity, the meteorite impact occurred on the far side of the moon. We're lucky it happened so far away from our mission, but the strength of the blast wave raises a lot of questions.
Objective achieved.
Is that all the head of the research department can say? Somewhere far away there was an explosion and we don't know the cause?
Because scientists are working with proven facts, not speculating on fragmentary evidence. Much more data would be needed to reach the conclusions.
We have electricity, but our resource reserves are almost depleted. We need to restore, then build a charging...
Director, we're getting word of supply shortages from almost everywhere on Earth. The explosion cut off most of the supply channels from the moon. Millions of people are in need of resources, and we can satisfy that demand. Supplies used to run through the contract system, but it came to a complete halt after the explosion. We might be able...
The explosion destroyed everything on the surface, but there may still be mining modules underground. We need...
Objective achieved.
Director, we need to reconnect the power supply to the underground level. Connect the elevator and electrical pole with wires so we can see the scale of the damages.
Objective achieved.
That's better. I see that we have a module to produce smart concrete, but we have an urgent need to resume production of steel and silicone. Director, I have an idea. First, convert...
The drone reconfiguration module.
We have smelting furnaces, but Director, we have...
Enter excavation mode.
Objective achieved.
You can now watch mining drones extract the oxides, and working drones deliver them to the smelting furnace. You can adjust the game speed by selecting the desired.
Director, you can never have too much smart concrete, so it's worth spending time to produce it. For this purpose, we have the pressing module requires only regolith, which is a type of lunar dirt plentiful here. Assign mining drones to the evacuation so that we have the resources we need. Free.
Director, here's the latest news regarding contracts. To resume shipments to Earth, we'll need to restore communication and significantly expand production. If we manage this in the near term, I'll negotiate an
Objective achieved.
Well, that's a start.
Director, we have a message on the emergency channel. I'll put.
Attention. This is Arthur Moore, commander of the Hope 2 orbital station. The station has sustained severe damage from multiple collisions. We have lost key control modules. A hard moon landing will occur in the coming weeks. Request assistance from anyone who hears this message. All crew members are ordered to take shelter in Block 4.
The debris from the meteorite impact must have gotten Hope 2. I'm already contacting Crust to report it.
Director, my name is Clyde Draper, and I lead the Crust search and rescue operation. We are aware of the situation with Hope 2, and are already developing an evacuation plan. There's still a chance to restore resource mining and production at your facility, and it's in our mutual interest for you to assist us. We need a place to accommodate the rescued crew, and your base is the most suitable candidate for this. Crust.
With all due respect, Director, I do not share your doubts. People are in danger, and if it's in our power to help them, we must do so.
With all due respect, Alice, altruism has clouded your judgment. Crust is clearly asking for grant aid that we cannot afford right now. I suggest we focus on restoring production and resuming shipments to Earth. Also, I've negotiated a prepayment with FASM. We can use their funds if we start.
But all you care about is profit. If that's the case, think of the technology Crust will provide.
Do we pay a fair price for their technology? Don't forget, Director, by accepting Crust's offer, we will allow them to decide how our base is developed. We'll have to focus on the construction of the living quarters.
Crust is going to accommodate the surviving Hope 2 crew members at your base in exchange for equipment and technologies for us to carry out a rescue mission. If you accept Crust's offer, you will lose access to the FASM contract, for which the corporation is willing to pay upfront.
I hear you. Crust is capable of organizing a rescue operation independently, but pleasure doing business with you. We'll send you the Rover Scout and the coordinates for the repeater shortly.
Don't call me cynical, but the best we can do under the current circumstances is...
Well, let's not waste any time. Professor, you prepared a research plan before starting the
Absolutely. First, we need to increase production. We have smelting furnaces, but we need extractors and refineries to extract the oxide. Director, research underground mining and place 2 extractors on the iron and silicon veins.
Research complete. Research complete.
Don't forget that extractors need...
Research complete. Research complete. Objective achieved.
I see in the data that the extractors have started mining. Now, finish the research and build 2 regolith refineries for producing iron and silicon, respectively. Director, place the regolith refineries similarly to optimize future production.
Objective achieved.
The single regolith refinery extracts the necessary oxides from the regolith by thermal treatment. The process leaves slag that can also be used in production. A single regolith refinery is a mono-refinery that can only produce one.
Objective achieved.
Director, a conveyor belt will speed up production.
You heard him, Director.
Objective achieved.
Use the conveyor tool and connect.
Director, we managed to send the Research Rover Scout. It's essential for your mission. Examine the satellite repeater and activate it by any means possible. Mr. Ratchet will help you sort out the controls. You're free to use data that will help the mission. Some of it will expedite the research. Professor Wilfrey knows what to do with it. However, remember that all ship logs, crew records, and other materials related to the incident.
Ratchet, did you hear? Crust put you in charge of the new toy. Don't mess it up. They won't give us another one.
Objective achieved.
I wouldn't laugh at that if I were you. We're sending an expensive machine off base where the satellite link doesn't work. If we lose it, well... Horizon 6. Almost everything has been modified. Only the hull is original. There's serious hardware there. Even Crust doesn't have much like it. Send it off base and see what we can find with it.
Objective achieved.
Crust has sent the coordinates of the repeater. Let's send the rover there and try to deal with that piece of junk.
Colleagues, I'll remind you that we already received payment for the FASM contract, but haven't started fulfilling it yet. We need to hurry up to avoid damaging our reputation as a reliable supplier.
In this case, we need to research and build a landing platform.
Director, I consider it my duty to remind you that lunar research is divided into three main fields: fundamental, engineering, and social. Each laboratory is capable of all available research. Some research requires multiple types of science. You can always rearrange your research.
Objective achieved.
Director, it will be extremely difficult to fully reactivate the repeater under the current circumstances. It will still serve our mission, but it is no longer connected to Earth. We extracted the necessary data, but I'd suggest holding off on reporting it to Crust.
Mr. Ratchet, are you out of your mind? You're going to go behind Crust's back, and this rover isn't even capable of carrying cargo.
We'll report the data we found after retrieving the surviving resources. Crust doesn't necessarily need to know they existed. Excellent. Crust has enough on their plate. Let's not bother them unnecessarily. Send the drones to repair the cargo truck when they have enough materials.
Director, we're testing Crust's patience. I would strongly advise against giving such a powerful corporation a reason to be disappointed.
Objective achieved.
You might not think so by the look of this old guy, but the cargo truck has passed all the tests and is ready to go. Now send it to the repeater and pick up the resources we found.
Research complete.
Director, it looks like the rover has run out of power. Now, it couldn't beat a turtle in a race, and until the sun is up again, there's nothing we can do about it. for his soul.
Objective achieved.
Alice, we're done. The resources are already in the truck. It's time to report back to Crust.
Okay, I'll send a message.
Objective achieved.
Do you not understand the seriousness of the mission entrusted to you? You were supposed to hurry. We anticipated that fully restoring communication with the moon might not be easy, but the situation is even worse than expected. Listen to me carefully, Director. From now on, any information you receive from Crust must be kept strictly confidential.
So, Crust signed us up for a top-secret operation without even asking the Director.
It surprises me that they ask for his opinion about accommodating Hope 2. Usually, if Crust wants something, they don't ask permission.
Given the current situation, this is even to our advantage. Their capabilities on the moon now depend on us. This means we can get everything we need. Crust's tasks require significant resource investment, which means we need to seriously expand our manufacturing capability. We need titanium to manufacture parts. Find titanium deposit.
Package delivered. Research complete. Objective achieved.
The only thing left to do is to get a license to access the tender system, so that we can become legitimate participants in the global contracting system.
Objective achieved.
Don't forget to connect it to the network. The ore detector uses battery power to run the scans. The further the scanning area is, the more power it requires. Select the finished.
Director, our energy reserves are almost at zero. The moon has a long day-night cycle. Make sure we have enough solar panels to charge the batteries during the solar.
Research complete. Research complete. Research complete. Objective achieved. Research complete.
We're ready to get started. This contract will help us establish ourselves as a reliable business partner, so it's important to perform. Director, now I'll explain the basic principles of...
Objective achieved.
Great job. Now build a components factory and supply it with titanium and steel. I'm sure, Director, this will be an easy task for you.
At the top of the screen are the main categories of the control center. You're now in the Contracts tab. The left column shows the faction. In the center is information about the faction and its... This window provides all the information you need about the selected contract. You have entered the logistics interface. On the left side of the screen is a list of required resources, which you fill in. Please return to the control center. You have entered the logistics interface. In the lower right...
Objective achieved.
The first contract has just been completed, and I'm already negotiating the next one. We're in a unique situation.
Research complete.
The ACEL Corporation is requesting a shipment of silicon for the continued production of construction materials. You can find out more at the control center.
achieved.
Great job, Director. The funds have already been deposited into our account. At this rate, we'll soon recoup our expedition.
Oh, of course, we didn't have more pressing issues for which the dispatched resources would be useful. But no, Director, we didn't miss out on short-term...
Objective achieved.
Director, there's news. In short, I've signed an agreement to complete several contracts on our...
Director, I see them in the database as accepted. Mr. Ledger has outdone himself. This is not just unprofessional, but also extremely irresponsible. How about notifying before signing rather than after?
My job is to secure the most lucrative contracts for the company, Ms. Vance. And if a few small deliveries are too challenging for us, we have no business being in the market.
Director, I'll deal with Ledger later. Try to focus on active contracts. It's very important. Director, this place was clearly inhabited until quite recently. Judging by the items left behind, they could be survivors from MT4, our ill-fated base. I'll contact their employers at Evermoon. Director, we've been contacted by Mr. Holloway, the CEO of Evermoon Corporation. That's whose base we're running now. They've lost contact with their employees since the explosion and are asking us to try to find them. We can use our rover to do that, but Crust may not be happy. What do we do?
Thank you for agreeing to help. We received several fragmented messages from survivors at MT4, but then the communication was lost. We have sent you the coordinates of one of our complexes south of MT4. Maybe someone managed to take shelter there.
Package delivered.
Around the research post, there is a level platform and several small buildings. Wheel tracks are leading away from it in different directions.
Based on what I saw, the outpost was engaged in studying photosynthetic microorganisms capable of living in a vacuum and zero gravity. Director, send drones to study the materials. This will aid in further research.
Director, finding surviving employees of another corporation is a worthwhile endeavor, but it's not our primary concern. Your emotions should not influence your decision-making, and I personally will make sure of it if needed.
After thoroughly scanning and exploring the area, the rover discovered a protective case with a tablet near one of the doors. In addition to research data, it contained a text file.
Collapsed due to a powerful explosion. Kate and the others didn't make it out, and Tanya is seriously injured. 6 of us are alive, including me, MT4 Chief Robert Podolsky. The outer part of the complex was almost completely destroyed by the blast wave, and the electricity and life support systems are offline. We have a working vehicle, fuel, and oxygen supply. We have enough to reach the Evermoon 3 observation station. Let's see if they had more luck.
No biological or any other activity was Director, that's our Robert. If there's any hope that he's alive, we should keep looking.
Research complete. Objective achieved. You can't build here.
You're doing a great job, Director. Execute the next contract on time, and I will personally pay for Ms. Vance's therapist.
It's about time, considering you're one of the main reasons to visit him.
Director, Crust has sent us an additional set of drones, which will allow us to expand production even further. Treat them with caution. They are...
Objective achieved.
The research station was badly damaged by the explosion. The radar towers were destroyed. The solar panels were also hit, but some of them are still working. Rover's equipment also detected activity underground. Someone may be down there. However, the door to the underground complex looks sealed. The activation panel is malfunctioning. To its left is scratched out "Traitors," and there are tracks. Someone has definitely been here recently. Now, there's just mangled equipment, a huge sealed door, and tracks leading away from the station. The LPS system on the rover will help us find them. Run a scan near the research station. Director, the lunar proximity scanner emits a focused beam of electromagnetic waves. These waves propagate rapidly, covering the area around the scanner. When the waves encounter an object within the scanning zone, the LPS visualizes its location. When a hidden object is...
Director, the ASIL Corporation needs materials for desalination stations. We can't leave the region without drinking water, can we?
Research complete.
Malachite is about to set up their production facility on the moon and is asking us for missing construction materials. Check out the contract on the control. We've been approached for help by Universe, a recent hurricane.
Director, we received requests from two competing organizations, Malachite and IEF. Both are asking for support, but we can only collaborate with one. Review the situation and make a decision. The disaster on the moon diminished Eurasian countries' trust in Crust and its programs. Together with the Malachite conglomerate, these states developed the Aurora Aerospace Complex project. The company's representatives contacted us and invited us to participate in the project as a resource supplier on favorable terms. Upon learning of this, activists from the International Environmental Front decided to thwart the emergence of new, dirty industries on Earth and prepared their own Aurora project to restore melting glaciers. The IEF plans to redirect the attention of Malachite investors to a more pressing environmental issue. We need to decide who to contract with.
We have a new contract. This time,
Research complete.
Director, an interesting contract has come in from the Director, don't...
We discovered a damaged transport. There were no employees of the Evermoon Corporation inside. The transport's logbook survived, and the rover is transmitting the contents of the last entry.
What caused that explosion? An asteroid? Nuclear strike? What could hit so hard? It doesn't matter now. Tanya's condition has worsened, and medications are running out. Supplies, oxygen, all running low. The transport runs on solar panels, but soon it'll be night, and we won't survive it. We'll head towards the sun, try to buy us some time. If only those bastards at Station 3 had let us in. They survived. I heard knocking, but they didn't open the door. Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe in their place, we would have done the same.
It's a tragedy. By the time the sun had set, they had no chance of survival. Thank you for...
Director, there's more. We found an audio recording that appears to be Robert's.
Research complete.
I don't know why I'm recording another one. Apparently, I miss you and the kids. I'll be home in 2 weeks. This time, we'll go to the mountains. I've had enough sand and beaches. Work, as luck would have it, hasn't slowed down a bit. Alloway insisted on mining right on MT4 and hired a company to do it. They seem to be nice young people with interesting developments. Their Alice reminds me of you when you were young. She's pretty and talks...
I'll make sure this is passed on to his family.
horrific tragedy happened to the MT4 crew, and I can't help but wonder what happened at Evermoon 3. Robert said they weren't allowed to go inside, and the rover clearly detected activity inside, but I still can't believe a reasonable person could do such a...
Research complete.
For carrying out various tasks and contracts on the moon, you may need a rover scout and cargo transport. Since our resources are currently insufficient,
Research complete.
the convoy was transporting several tanks of liquefied fuel and a couple containers with various spare parts and electronic equipment. It seems that the vehicles were seriously damaged and buried under collapsed rock. You can immediately send a cargo truck to collect the easily accessible cargo, or you can try to break up the rubble with a rover. It will be necessary to send drones to excavate most of the cargo, but the operation to retrieve it might be risky. Drones will easily dismantle the scrap metal into useful components. The only
Research complete.